Hey guys, I am going to show you in this video how I made this. This is the second kit that I have designed for ROK Minis, and this is the little townhouse. The other one is the cottage. This is going to be the build video. There'll be a painting video afterwards. Quite a lot of it is going to be time lapse. You just follow the instructions on the time lapse. Building it's going to be simple. There's going to be comments, or there's going to be letters on the MDF kit where you put the letters together. You put A to A and then B to B and C to C, etc. And you put the kit together like that, and then you put the bricks on and the plaster and the wood and everything, and I've showed you in previous kits, and everything is provided in the kit. This is the deluxe kit. You get the bricks cut for you. You have to weather them yourself. You get strips of XPS foam, which I weather with a tin foil ball, and you get strips of wood, and you get all the shingles as well. You have to make a little chimney, but I mean that's not difficult. You use a piece of the strip and just some bricks. That's all I've done with that. And you get the windows and the doors as well. So yeah, this little kit, I'm just going to run through it quickly. It's going to be a quick 10-minute video, I think, and yeah, hopefully you like it. Yeah, I'll back to you in a sec. Here we go guys, as you can see I've got all of the pieces out of the sprues that they come on. I'm corresponding each piece to the letters that they have laser etched into them, so A to A, B to B, C to C. It's important you stick to that way of building if you're a beginner, so that you are comfortable with the way it goes together. You see it doesn't take very long to get the building together. I use super glue to stick mine together because I'm confident in the build process. I designed the piece, so I know it's going to go together. If you're not too comfortable with it, use a bit of wood glue, and you've got time to move things around if needed. Here you can see I'd started the process of making some of the wooden beams. You can see that I measure the space where it needs to go plus 5mm for the overhang either side, and then I take the back of my blunt craft knife and I shave off the corners, and I do some texturing, and there you can see me just texturing the ends to get that wood grain detail on the ends as well. There you can see me just making sure it's equidistant either side, so I can put the upstands on, and as I turn it over in a second I'll be attaching this with super glue as well. Again, if you're not comfortable with placing or not comfortable with using super glue, please do just use PVA or wood glue, and that'll allow you to move it around a bit further. You will have to hold it for longer, but it will get a better effect for you. And here I am going to cut the top beam now as well for this end piece, for the gable end. Once again, you can see me scribing all the wood in. This section of the video actually is about 8 minutes long, and I've sped it up to be 4 times the speed, so it's only 2 minutes long. Again, sticking the glue on. I typically make my windows 1.5 centimeters from the bottom of the floor, so I have a centimetre left, so they're 50mm walls realistically. And here you go, I'm just measuring the longer pieces now as well. You see this long piece will butt up next to the overhanging joint on the gable end, and that will cover the end and allow you to have it overhanging the other on the rear end. Jump to a little bit further ahead now. Once you've got all your beams in place, like I have here, there is no rhyme or reason as to why any of these are here. None of them are structural for any reason at all. I just think they look cool. And now, as you can see, I have shaved off the tops of the beams. I put them on square and then I shaved them off afterwards with an incredibly sharp Alpha knife. And this is to allow me to put the piece of roofing cereal box card, is what I use on these initial builds. But you will be supplied with a piece of laser cut card to go on there, which will fit nicely. And here I am slicing some pieces for the stucco or the lard and plaster walls. Yours will come pre-sliced like this. You will have to texture them yourselves, but I literally just use a ball of aluminium foil scrunched up and roll it all over, but we'll show you that in a second. There you go. So you'll get a few of these to cut and scatter around. Now I'm moved on to the shingles here. You can see I've done some of the stucco, but we'll go back to that in a second. I've moved on to the shingles. As you can see, I put white glue on these ones. I always use white glue on the first side so I can check how many lengths I'm going to need, and I'll use super glue on the back side and the other pieces once I've got the confidence in. And as you can see, the little dots on the cereal box card there are 5mm apart. I use these as more of a guide than an actual measurement, just so I can make sure that they're level. And I'm always overlapping the shingles, and these are better cardstock than the old ones we used to supply, but it's much better now. It's much thicker. It allows your painting to show off the edges a bit more, and they look a bit more realistic. There we go. So that's one side of the roof completed. We'll finish off the top of the roof with a strip of wood and a wooden beam as well later on. Now here we are. I've gone through doing brickwork in many of my videos, in fact pretty much all of them, just how you place them. There's no rhyme or reason as to why any of these bricks are placed like this, other than the archway on the door. I just place the bricks down in a way that I think looks nice, and so that they overlap the majority of the time. I managed to get the archway on the door by taking the smallest bricks and cutting them in half and then stacking them on the sides. As you can see, I'm now trimming off the excess bricks on the banister rail or the handrail going up the cottage door. Again, using my alpha knife to slice them off nicely, and that way that'll allow you to put the largest bricks, which are the 10 by 15, on there as a sort of like banister or balustrade or whatever. And again, I just use my wood glue for that and stick them on. You see this jumps back and forward every now and again. Sometimes the side is on there and sometimes it's not. But there we go. I've done the same with the archway on the door and the top there as well. Some of these pieces you will need to cut at an angle ever so slightly, but they're foam. You'll get plenty in the kit, so don't worry about making too many mistakes. You get plenty of bricks in the kit, so you'll be fine. Right, here we go. This is take one of the pieces and just get a scrunched up tinfoil ball and just roll it around. Don't push too hard. You don't want to pierce the skin of the foam. You just want to dent it so it looks like that. And if you hold it up to the light like I just did, you can see some flat spots, and just roll over them again. Now here I am, I'm literally just measuring the gap of the hole I need to go in. So I measure, I think I get this bit wrong because I'm a doofus and I had to cut it again, but it's fine. I always reuse these tiny bits I cut out anyway. I keep them in a box and use them for other builds. It's literally, usually I measure twice and cut once. This time I'm like, ooh, I got it wrong by a little bit. Yeah, so there's a couple of mil out there. So I measure it again, cut it, and I'll add it back in again. And this time it'll be a much snugger fit. There we go. So cut it a little bit over if you can, and then trim off that tiny excess. Then you cut the height, and that'll go straight in. And again, with the triangle, with the triangle pieces you need put in here, I always measure the right angle. So I measure the bottom and the side, and the diagonal piece will automatically be correct if you get it right. There we go. Just do that. So this is the second of 2 kits that we currently have for Rock Minis that I've designed. There are 2 more on the way, and I'll be featuring those on my Instagram very soon when I start to build them. Getting quite a nice little village together now. So here we go. I'm just going to be showing you how I finish off a few more bits of the shingle on the side piece. Unfortunately, it's a curse sometimes being left-handed, as you can see it back off the camera. So with the card shingles, it's incredibly easy to cut them to the angles you need to go like this. There we go. I've been, as I said, I've used the first section with white glue and the second section with super glue once you get my confidence up, and I'm just sticking these on. They all overhang ever so slightly, probably by about half a shingle, but I do use my, again, I use my Alpha knife, not sponsored, but hey, Alpha, if you're out there. I use that with a fresh blade and just slice them off to be level with the bricks, and then I put the gable end planking on afterwards. And you'll see here in a second that you'll see a very thin strip of shingle. What I've done here is obvious. I've just cut the top end of the shingle off, made it incredibly thin, so that it'll just keep the shingles going all the way up the roof, and it doesn't look odd. You don't have massive shingles towards the top when you put the piece of wood on for the beam going across the top. Now I know some of these building techniques aren't realistic, but neither is this. This is a 28mm scale building, so you know. There we go. And super glue that in place. Now you can see I've already done the main roof. This is me doing the smaller front door roof, like the porch roof. So what I'm doing here is I'm adding a strip of balsa just there. These are the 5mm strips. Cut the angle and then cut the length, and then I texture it. So I shave off the edges and I use the back of my blunt blade again, and I just texture it. Now realistically, this scale you wouldn't see a wood grain on the wood. It would literally be just a smooth piece of material, but that looks boring to me. It's not exciting, and it doesn't leave any depth for painting or anything. So obviously texturing the wood looks a great deal better in this scale. So here we are measuring the back end. Again, cutting the angle, measure twice, cut once. And I'm just using my Alpha knife again to just remove a few of the shingles there. I'll do it again and pull the excess out with some tweezers. This will allow me to put the beam in ever so slightly into the shingles, so that if rainwater was to fall on it, it would fall over the wood and not into the house. There we go, texturing again. And sticking it down. Anything that you feel might be fairly loose on here, like the shingles for instance, I've only got one bead of glue. They will all get stuck down with the Mod Podge and black undercoat anyway, because that's a PVA, so it'll stick everything down nice and firmly, so I'm not too worried about that. And you're just texturing the main roof beam. This one you texture 3 sides, and the base you don't need to texture because it's been stuck to the top. There we go. Here we are. That's the finished build. The windows and doors are incredibly simple to build. They are literally a layering process. The lattice, the frame, and then the outer go on top. Just use super glue. And the door as well. Incredibly simple. There is a separate video on my YouTube channel for building the windows. It has a variety of different types in there, but please do take a look. I'll be doing a build video for all of these designs I've done. They will get simpler as we go along, because once you've done one, they're pretty standard to build, to be honest with you, if you follow the A to A, B to B ratio. Thanks very much, guys.